Fasa kwenya we should member sector minister Mwakwata Abaso.
Okay.
Me call share sir Dominic baby omo Africa Games is very Boteman. Now I had to use school junction.
School junction. No school junction.
Yes, offer Zoom line or as Ekosiisen motorway. I tell you kwanya o my year.
Minimum hopa.
Okay.
Minimum hopa.
Okay. Me use to order.
Oh, sir.
There be.
Oh, first no. Now University of Ghana for assassin University of Ghana for dia.
Assassin.
Omo bi wo ho.
There be omo year sports sem na.
Omo farmers bi wo ho.
Okay.
Enti na omo san wo anantwie yi bi yi say horse race yi bi na ne kwan bi da ho ne kwan ye terrible. Etubetima fa so saa akopie Boteman ho saa flat na wo ho.
Okay.
Na national service for any other institution no more farms crown po ho and cook poultry farm ne akrantie ne gini ne bibi wo ho no mo na kwan ye mfa so
e kwan na make so man
that time no o man enye 40 years ago as na make o I'm talking about just 3 years ago sa kwan ne ye mfa so
what kwan make school junction
aman na me say minimum kwan no pa minimum kwan no minimum dimensions no kra mpo
Zoom line or AIB or university or that
environmental university what are you telling me wo kwa hospital bi e wo benkum se dura na jo say hotel o say yo but medimosis
medimosis and so why shen kania
e dura na jo ni say so a ka say hotel me say minimum sa kwan no pa me de pa to aso na me ni age say wabo sa wabodin Sakwan better than motorway we boy. Fast well. Far. Sakwan better than
100
parts of commercial Accra road.
Yeah.
2 year 2 if I a blue 2 cramp.
A bro said be one change from
na almost start this project on man stop. Me dem say minimum sakwan. Me I know the area. Minimum hopan. Almost start on man stop it. Until 9 say be 2 weeks ago. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the sports minister emo ekwo ho project no and then kofu say say I just say any facilities boys I say inside no e kwan ne keke nkofu ahu no
maybe I purposely for the games
yes
I still have my doubts about
no make it. No
and then
wakoma to
yes honestly and then makoma
me dem monitor
and then because na de me hu o many obi betan na me catch say ade yes match o say de yin na legondea na me de me hu so
stadium no
o di mirika ni gidi but even na mo so boy games o mo so Boteman e de na say Boteman
to be so kwhwe
e say me kwhwe nti na brebe man na say I have to be there
over the weekend me am safa over the weekend ya wada no so masa be yi ura Boteman sneflas o masa be dwi ho Jono moye no man enough for moon. Ya bo aban ba so.
Obi the contract and there was the Osway,
yes, Osway. Ya bo ma ba so. But na man say e bia wa amfa ho enrasa na say na.
Coming
ya meka ho.
Honestly, I don't know. The man monitor one na be person me catch road minister say omo no homo dey on kansie ni. O hwe moto we na say aka de na kansie ni.
Haya de before tollbooth no.
O say aka de na did am think
I'm phantom preko.
When you do what man am say we dem pia boss say.
Na no mo de be dey say mo kan see dey no.
Say em say o di twam minim say o di twam si you
East
Legon
and a flower pot
I think so say easy means to na a cut traffic but because I see I don't know
I get too heavy and I'm wondering how they are doing it because
me am say we dem yama ho mean police
say modern day Samson the kawaka bom say tell adwa no mo ye o
asema kan mebu so an say adwuma road minister now still you're complaining akwan wasem what has been our problem?
The problem is that me
as on mine
me assessment in first adwuma na ye ni
the contractor for ye
ni
but say me no me supervise you
and I me say ye nti man ga so mo ni me say ye ni ye nyina ye di for
okay
adwuma na o ma no mo ye no ye ni ye enti akwan bebre ayaye no I do 3 but actually 2 years not the same kwan na yes aye
akwan bebre ayaye no
yes
esan se yenye ni yi nti efie mienu se chi
yes I the same kwan
back near akwan
yes seke ye ni ye se betal last for 10 years and can you be more kilometers East Legon ekwan almost every 2 years bi aye guso for beboa na ki aye East Legon akwan ni ye kama enkaka krake di beguso no ekefa kwakwahye man
sa mia na
ekefa kwakwahye man
isin to kese ba on
but ye de kwakwahye man na East Legon de na say tutu ye say de kwaguso.
Do we benefit from that weakness now?
Meba eti bitumen anasa gravel se di gu form no se ki ye kan nyina toa so a kasi ki ye nyina ategu a e ki aye about 80% of our roads ba enam se ubenya portions bebrea 10 basis and ko gusu nti is of 80 no ye nambia be 50
yanko yanim but ye akwan
ba ye akwan ekwan bebra ye ne sese no 4 years ago ni ye akwan no ekwan ye 4 years ago 8 years ago ni ye akwan no etu do pa ye akọ Rose Ministry nefa o sa akwan bo mutu din
okay
etie bia Accra Nsawm Road kwana kwhwe how many times Accra Nsawm Road appear on the records of Rose Ministry for the past 40 years.
Because yenye ni ye. The bribia da Accra Nsawm Road. Accra Nsawm Road. Na yen Nsawm no. Because of bad contract.
Yes.
Any bad supervision.
Yes. Basically ye ni ya enka abeye Nsawm Suhum Road. Because na kaya Accra Nsawm awiu. Na ka free Nsawm to Suhum. Yenye ni ye and me dream one mentiasi say you the finest of engineers e Ghana.
But we don't have money.
And yes, kasem a corruption.
Ketasishe. Ekwan yen.
A corruption. Show. Any pana contractor no answer na or best at adwuma no. Enko for jiska.
Sanko for.
Say school dan yesio. Say dan yesio. Eventually every project be enko for adododie no binim say yedam na yabo. When the catch us abrofo no omo de omo nye kickback omo jibi. Me ne Germany ni bi o ka che me say hwe omo so mo jibi o na say no mo je no wo say project cost no eye fa say 10 million na o profit eye fa say 2 million eti eba be 12 million ye na ka say total project cost 12 million actual project cost na 10 million ne de wo say engineers no hwan ye on be make sure say 10 million no wo da ye adwuma na ese ye no na wo profit 2 million no o mo ne wache.
But it's not the case here.
It is not the case here.
Oh say we na
yeah case ni say contractor no kwa obeye kwan obesi school wanya ebia project kese bi hospital bi kese bi besi no waje ya na kwato Benz first waje kwato ka fitaa bi o say ye be wie no na e was a project cost that be at 10 million no sa 10 million can be project no near D for so 2 million no e ka ho no ye be share the 4 million aye e be share the 6 million aye because enkofo atrase adwudwoma diska no. That's how I see it. Because anye sa asphalt asphalt road omunim layers so moye no omunim.
But that's what make us say yema ye ni bre no ene ye bufu no ene ye nkomo no enko gina because what's my waka nyina ne say ye nkoyanim but ye akwan esan say sintowo akwan ahodo a ye ni nyina.
Yes.
Na adani ye ni nkose ene Gordon ona ye consultant for Accra Nsawm Road. Ghana e de 2 million ni ya ho odi ahye o mu say esan nimdia wo nti no say me Kwabena Sante say me jo shop say me ye Kofi Job say me Alexi Boam say me Sky me Oswa o ma kaka Jasmo me ona wo hwe o mo djuma. Yes. This is seem to be basa adwuma na o ma ye no so a adani ye hold you responsible na you hold the contractor responsible. Why?
That na contractor no wonye nipa.
But that's what I'm saying, say wo ye the to me amount.
Yes.
Wo to me ni say it seem to be a basa Nsawm nkran kwan no so no. Wona o consult to your Ghana they say 2 minimal. A dear report now to trouble sector minister.
Oh, you are very right. It is a value chain. It is a food chain. It is a what name. stage bi e wo do wo hwe so enti e wo se ebusa nkopon say procurement no bidding process no
because the reason for saying this is that
and you no engineer ben wo hwe sa kwan no koka say ya certify kwan no
two things when it comes to this minister they be adana meka say e bia na obi ntimase obi koye bridge wo Jackson ukro mo na koye bridge a ebu ya minister esake nipa ko suspect water ekro be efija kwabre nurse the minister the following day was there to ensure bridge ayaya indi na enu ni na sano blind engineer so akome number 2 me kai me tie no man fm aboko bi kwan na ebeto aba and I'm say contractor gidi separate interview and contractor say na inyaba honorable adjust so on can no the minister I heard him very furious on man fm asa catch contractor say immediate effect
me na me wo
so one kosa kwan so ankoma sa hye say oye de say oya and obetina homa so in terms of the class or it meaning because they be done and ye blame these political heads no question say they can take the blame but there are technical people there with experience and exposure and all the knowledge any question sound always be because it's sad
but engineer no one no so supervisor say ade no waye ni ye asphalt how many layers na say we go as I declare say ready I classify say asphalt.
Is it that your modern way of doing kwan no so atwam na your type of ye kwan ye no nyoma ye kwan atwam
entwam me say boa payo entwam
so we are beneficiaries
oh man okay we dey enya Europe asan ye ka bebre America bo mo dia cement ni adade enya hwe but Africa has also way ya kwan no me say minister me ya no ye mobo etwa bi no so wo kasa wutimi se na koma aba eya choki no babusa wo so wo wie na okotan officer na opese o act on it ye Ekosiisen bureaucratic process no aye true ayi say obi ka se wo engineer civil servant as obi civil servant adi no na bra wo Ghana no
transfer ye adwuma dismiss ade
edin na wo kohwe kwan so wo abokobi anya ye eti a transfer no ekwa so nyu
of Kenya say
na of Kenya say the kwan ni bi no kohwe so ana ho ko Kenya Bible na yeti eti to dismiss somebody sane man ho ya na I think say ya na edin dodo eti at times I pity them but still no I think say ministers no political heads no they have a higher responsibility. When the name highway authority engineer when the name no
be anim
ba ko bi mpo de me money di na me ne bo hockey okumase na say me just a big time engineer mpo na me say won mpo the responsibility no obi am me nim no pa o ba me nim ba ho na madam for we minister me nim needing but when we a public servant it won't no
Jamu Akwata should do more
enye wonu nko enyanwa Akwata hwe education ministry asema bi ena no pa me wo ntumi ena no pa ya no hono ma me duru hono na papa bi aba wase Bankum secondary school me body because hono papa ne evidence so buy Bankum secondary school waso okoya ya okode ne ba koye no yese akwara bia ye man ID card
okay
100 cedis akwara ID card 100 cedis parent bia so be hia ID card so obehwe wo ba visiting days no obehwe wo ba wo dey achese me pay me ha say ya no so 200 cedis
school ben no
Bankum secondary school
we need to verify it can't be true
parent number one and no pay ya wo won't be wa ya
official and as a backdoor business
official was it
that as a parent you buy your card amount
I buy my ID card was it Bankum secondary school Bankum you buy my ID card parent 200 cedis a student 100 cedis and I'm say a heifer na heifer the Ghana heifer na ID card 200 cedis ID card na parent me kwahwe me ba na se me ba na ma wo school na me kwahwe na anti oduro hu se papa na abai they do need an ID card say me more form of identification because pa must I pay 200 cedis na headmistress and headmaster no ho no or ID card master teachers no ID card why eti Oh, dear, omo ye ya. And nobody says head mistress way and I head master way. You're suspending no pending investigation near that. Do you think he said the case ministry or manage home? Or manage home, but a banner, say, come to me, can straight away come back of word. Straight away, come back as you would. But yes, I suspend on pending investigation. But I find neighbor go to be quite back.
About this weekend, me ko Kumasi Bono. Na me tie nuanu mu Nhyira FM4 omon komo amudi with some of the headmasters I want person bekasa so say the education ministry no rushed in taking some of the decisions they took. Like, if we say schools do na wo honom kwana sebe enipa dodo a mode ya present yama ministry no say was and Chibia George Okante so kwa headmaster oh
George right
was for yebefa enkwada edu
yes
na ministry no said service no mode enkwada eduonunum
na aba
ediaba ebasa mon ka hwe nkyere mpanyimfo mode an say mo hwe say enkwada but mo so mo dika mbusa say enipa dodo sen ana say suku we was no ebetimi afa
almost 10
and was 10 aba so ba no 25 ne buy. In this case,
does it mean say kwaya ID card 200 cities ana?
They are just trying to find ways and means to ensure, because most of these complaints they raised critical issues about the KSTS and Okumazimboa.
Patasi.
Yes. Omoka how some of the such innovations for 8 million for more intake. And to a point in say maybe some of the schools no anka ye jebrani and prayer home edi in common we answer near the no this eba bontia anke
it doesn't wash. So are you about it doesn't wash. I feel ya release ade no. At the time ben who send the pano doors
nipa dunum na ade ma me fo mo yede.
Da bi nipa dunum na ko ya na.
Omu nyina
da bi omu nyina nkoi. E na nipa dunum no ama ansa na wo take decision. First person na wo wura hoda na wo wura ho na wo gine sense ka no. At one point in time na hu so bobro so.
There's a buapayo.
E buapayo. And I me ya because me a teacher ni.
Omu say yes adia. Bibia ekwachiwa no muso be ya hwe.
Ede na ekwachiwo. ID card 200 cities per parent no. Ede na ekwachiwo. O man share discussion ni yi.
Ya na me say omu say
school bi e wo genuine case. Me ko pokuare. Ye time yes na ye be 600. Me AU 83. It means I was the 83rd person to have registered for a year batch. Year group. Na ena anu amekwe ko ekodi anniversary. Meti no modru say me refi eyine numbers eyine di kan no. Was say would have was BK 2358. What is 2358 I say? 2358 which means 2358. 1 year group omu ya above 3000. It is what headmaster can say. 1 year group die ya omu ya 3000 to be kabo mu no na ehia nipa be 8000 na wo school mu hono ma ebi ehia more libres aban fa libra fosika ema si ya fa dipa okay enipa bebrebe adwa ni die pantry boy say ehia wo mo e say di bi ka ho ye ehia more cleaners what I say enti I was school so make case say first and 1,000 on the average but they say ye fa 3000 we need more hands on deck enti no ye be yes ka bi say aban to me first yes ka ma ya ye PTA meeting yes any will be empia 100 cities 100 cities
ma me yonku ni nkomo Angel Kabono de bi adam ni di nkomo na eze yenwie yanko ani ebom enti ye ko Christmas e bi say bibia be kama Angel ma hey afijapa
I think over to na voice na yellow
o tebe nkase sei
me too nkadie
okay
but am I clear on air?
Very very clear. Very very
afishapa
I think over tia na me ton kan cheja chicha for se mpemu asem
but me no when I say man ni am gift but remember be me adie me na me bisa first
bibia eboko de
ya me adumeye.
Now what's happening in all various schools and they issue a lot of in krata headmasters being competitive. What's the problem? What can krata be?
Hello.
Angel.
Oh, line here faint pow.
Okay, kwagu Fanisa Cobra, near Zibitima to my because God has my okay. Ocean Cratani be a dida monty and King Canvanze, Osha a year Kumasi Girls Senior High School. Stepping aside of headmistress Mrs. Selina Anane, Afuaqua. Kujis school papa omo hospital bi so nche
if ko fa ne se kwa
hospital mo ja
me guide no
why bi o
why bi apa Kujis.
It has come to the notice of management the collection of unauthorized monies at Kumasi Girls SHS as part of admission process. The following monies were being collected within the premises of the school. 1. Compulsory sale of soon anniversary clothes, 280 Ghana cedi. Payment of house dues, 20 Ghana cedi. Payment of maintenance fee, 20 Ghana cedi. Compulsory sale of book, 25 Ghana cedi. Sale of calculators, 120 Ghana cedi. Sale of anniversary cloth, 60 Ghana cedi. Makuni, okay. Hey, we yapam. We
yapam. Makuni so yapam.
We yapam ye. The cloth nankasa no. 60 Ghana cedi. Ana the yapam no. 280. Okay, yanko ahoma so quickly. Angel.
Hello, Ochame.
Afede bu da hokama.
Fine, pa.
Very well. Me just say sankrata we na afede be come back again. Mo hu sankrata we na.
Yes.
Mo you worried na.
Yes, my head is disturbed, but over me 5 minutes now. My introductory remarks. Abide my orders that there should be no collection of any fee, charges, or payments in any shape or form in any senior high school. And as far as I'm concerned, the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service have not given any exemption to any school heads or school management to collect any amount of money from students during this free senior high school regime. Wow, GBB. Whether justified or not, no. What to Mra? You have violated the rule. Number 2, it is assumed that once a binding direct we are bano, and a binding supply all the needs and the resources to run the school within the free senior high school regime. Unfortunately, the government itself that is giving this directive when she said Uchibibiano, a binary also warren in bringing the adequate resources, and I'm underlining adequate, any timeous supply of the resources. Maybe I'll be my example of what I mean by timeous. All senior high schools in this country are supposed to be on prepaid. Emrano Emma who coins the Uber charges students and a parent the payment of electricity because that cano are buying afa. However, once a dinier prepaid, it's just a cell could treat the canals and a one year power. So say a BA school and then on the 13th, I mean, who can say no. It's the canal, it's maybe top prepaid no. A binding Bremen and from school they be my top power now electricity no school for no school now you know Kenya unfortunately that is not the situation. The prepaid no a check sometimes into the middle of the term and a semester. So question I may be say from the reopening date till the money comes no, the cabin and our schools no, ebe use ediator prepaid. This is only one example I'm giving. So the headmaster maybe two things. Either the headmaster stands aloof, or he or she takes initiative. Obebisa awofo any benefactors in the school. The problem I would hear Momaba school. Yankoto prepaid omobeda esumu enti. So he or she is violating the rules by soliciting support from the parent, because the rule says you should not take money from parents in any shape or form. This is one example.
Okay.
Another example, school back when I was Ashanti region. You converted school from day school to a boarding school. But you converted school from day school to a boarding school. Abai anfa empa. Anan yama ese a old school for the school to be a new boarding school. Abai anfamba. So your placement I see a tremulu. Ye the school for good school as boarders. And a headmaster nani awufo ni bichi. The omu identify obi obetunya mpa. Once our boarding house, won't be in that form for pneumonia. So awufo nankasa awufo baku meti say onu tia empa ema ne ba ema ne sa donate empa 10 edia che school no keke. Afi omuba form 1 no na empa na egu ho no ye last year 4 abo form 2 4 na e to sampa no. So form 1 for e ba ye no omu nya mpa nda so enintina omu ka say obi ye mpa no me once I do about boarding house no kona koto mpa no. Anniversary cloth. Anniversary omu kwa kodi in 2024 yi. Now, anniversary planning committee made up of PTA, past students, teachers, any other benefactors of the school, almost setting the anniversary celebration for the year 2024. I'm designing cloth that will be used for the anniversary. Almost starting from anniversary cloth to old students, to parents, to current students and benefactors of the school I work on the day of the anniversary deba Martinsa Fred dignitaries meaning someone from Hampenindia after Tuma Obia Adano any anniversary club no. So the anniversary club no ama Obia or associating to the school. Saskano and to me headmaster and a headmistress Kotoku. Examples who are one making me more examination. You don't have the right to collect any money from students for the printing of examination. There are schools the examination answer sheet no a paper beer student no bet me because the can ni ho a examination papers for the exams. So directive is in conflict with the inability of government to supply the resources to the schools on time and adequately. This is the conflict that you and I are talking about today.
Okay, so mamenti ni omabiase. O shase no, the odi kan shase say sa eye enhye service in the ministry in the buy applicable to all SHF.
All senior high schools in Ghana.
Okay. Beyond the omodia babe, uni may be a omokoso ya, whether justified or unjustified that, and a young trocrat and come on.
Baby.
Really?
Baby.
How is that possible?
You see, I'll give you a certain. You see, it is not prudent for me to mention names on this program. School back in Eastern region. Our school, I won't for thing because in terms of resources, they are strong. The schools do, I mean, you can't excuse me to say you cannot compare the financial strength of parents in Wesley Girls to Osino Secondary School. I'm sorry, but I'm just giving an example. schools may be hono. The parents don't. I mean, in the first place, who reports the case? It's the parents. Schools be hono. They don't see this as a problem. Majority of the parents don't see this as a problem. In some other schools, you see for 200 Ghana cedis background, it's a problem. The schools that you are hearing, this one, that means a parent has been asked to pay and it's a problem, and our report chairman, DC, and a party chairman, and it got to a Lithium, and the Lithium is angry, and the letter has been written, blah, 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 blah. There is a school in Eastern region. The payment is done into the private account of the PTA chairman.
Hey.
Because the headmaster of that school will say, person or benya problem. So the levy is done among the parents. The school cannot use the school account number for the money to be paid in. So the money is paid into the private account number of the PTA chairman. Now the PTA chairman is 100,000 Ghana cedis. Now account is a diamaji 200,000 cedis. One I bet to me I can't be one.
But mesaba oba ohwe nyoma na the service in the ministry person chance ya ka kire o se ade bia ya twere gu krata so edi kan dia bro se nkwada woni be suku no hwe wesu na fa gi nyoma ya kire wa no na se wukọ ntwache a ye betwe waso na ukoto him book je se suku yi Nkawie Senior High Technical School o se wono amana ye nhye. It has come to the notice of management the collection of unauthorized monies at Ekosiisen Senior High Technical School as part of admission process. The following monies were being collected within the premise of the school: sale of exeat book, 20 Ghana cedi. Payment of
the rules.
Payment
the
of
headmaster at Ekosiisen have violated the rules.
Payment of SRC dues, 40 Ghana cedi.
It's against the rules.
Sale of crest, compulsory purchase of 4, 20 Ghana cedi per one. Sale of hymn book, and I know hymn book require once my bow. Sale of hymn book. Hymn book, no. I don't know hymn book, no. I don't know, but
a mission school.
Maybe in Korea, mission school.
There's a mission school, dear. Not just having one work as a tone hymn book because maybe some Kali school.
Okay, Yama Angel. Meet you.
Emra Woho. The money you. And running you. So if you violate the rules, no, you are found culpable.
But the truth is what you said. No crane say, untimi sun shemra as a ministry and as a service. Now we say ode mran be yejuma. One kasa mrana washeno. You are not living up to that expectation in terms of all bits.
Absolutely.
It will be difficult to follow.
Yes. In fact, there are people who are doing that. There are people too. You see, and caution be to head. And a headmaster be friend, Mr. Kaboni. Advice now would be a man yatio. Then so how do you expect me, a responsible parent, now be paid call off? Now me a headmaster. Now me tiho high say my letter come Ghana Education Service. Now si canon by. So for 2 weeks, in Kodano that assume or no morality cannot withstand it. So we also have such cases. But the issue is that, and I make a chance the matter, this is between your morality and your job. The job, Salamat, dear not Salamat, yeah, not Dexis any lab research. And I'll share our for the moon contributing donative Dexis. So I am mother to me at Tenant, no most why you are yet is actually not an research. That is why Salamat was removed. Salamat violated the rules. The rule states that do not solicit support from parents. However, Salamat also violated the rules because truthfully, the Dexys were not in the school. But the excesses such as hymn book, exeat card, those people, they should explain why. Because exeat card, why should it be a formal card in this day and age of technology?
But was there a rush by the ministry in putting out these letters?
You know, we cautioned some weeks ago, say, Umayan Trinchen School sooner Yembie Quino first week in January. Because Minu can say next week Wednesday, Pena, in Kodan and Sanko Fiebio.
No, dear calendar, the Moyana woman is I don't know where
calendar in the union. I mean, it was so to see an obia
angel. You see, sometimes minimum most take decisions. Minimum most more your parents. It's you just do it and do it.
That is why we came in to look at the situation and find so look. Obi on Koko now I nya admission Laboni. Nipano next week Wednesday. I can 4 months students or some coffee. Now, Chame me know yenim nkode omoba coffee no na omunyama bebre ayira. Bebre so awo for so busan ko penye mani bi esa to effect transportation e di ma omo no mo aba school January 1st week. And secondly no so no emra na ye ma universal prospectus no. Anka, we needed time to see whether this universal prospectus applies to all schools and all regions in the country.
But we no man cause because nyoma me mejiwo suma henkwano. Menjiwo Wesley Girls and I say menjiwo I can say more true. Na minim sa uniform prospectus no. Is it applicable across board? Because
it will be difficult.
Difficult.
It will be very difficult.
But so you're part of the decision making. I don't know what you want free.
There are some decisions, no. The ministry is not compelled to inform the union.
It's not about that compelling aspect. But you say more and more active groundsmen, more and more practical, more the real situation. Whether ministry will be musamo, Madrinche extremely relevant in times like this.
Sometimes utu for yase Martin Sumenfa. Yase Martin Sumenfa. Because you see, honestly speaking, Jami, we need to be bold in this country to have a conversation on education in Ghana. And then also the senior high school senior high school saying that's obia dream it's the public basic school so obia dream is so, but I can assure you the moment you carry some investigative journalistic activity at the public basic schools, we have a problem in this country. We need to have a national conversation, media, teachers, parents, chiefs, missions, and take a decision that belongs to you and I.
But Angel, you have been part of this process for over 30 years, and you're worrying. So at this point now, I suggest to say this is where we've got into.
We have suggested it severally.
But baby, so would you say ditch more? Why would you sit as a major stakeholder? Now my says well, someone on a service for the ministry and I say because now from Bronga Hafo, that is Bono East and then Ahafo, and then parts of Ashanti region. This is some of the commentary. Headmasters need be well, so and it says and the moment
you are tell me you are right. I can't contest you because you are hitting the nail right at the head. You see, your account. This matter union seems to me to strike also. We can't take industrial action on matters like this because we also work within the rules. But as a stakeholder, look, no teacher in this country can claim ownership to education. No ministry can claim ownership to education. Education belongs to the people of Ghana. That should be clear to every politician. Education belongs to the people. So when you want to implement anything in education, bring the people to a table, let the people take a decision, and then it is up to us, the technical people, to do as the people say. Look, it is not the best. Before God, I just spoke to the TEU chairman, who is incidentally the Beza at Presec. I don't know whether he will want to speak on air, but honestly speaking, he was breaking down to me how subventions have not come to this. He's the best at Presec, and he's the chairman of TEU, Mr. Ambrose. And he was breaking it down to me how subventions at these items and items are in arrears that have not come to the various schools.
Only my challenge is now what you okay. In fact, even in Mimiti and Shire from Nanodan, fear than I think. The in common would say schools need be no Kumas, only the say. Oma engineer, na me mama meku. Oma Jenny, na mama emo. Why?
We have centralized the distribution of items by buffer stock. But when you take an area like Ejura is blessed by maize production. And the maize in Ejura is cheap. So the school in Ejura has a comparative advantage by way of cereals and grains. When you want the buffer stock as a central distribution agency to buy maize and send to Ejura Senior High School, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because, and if you go to the north, they are advantaged in terms of yam production. Yes, a centralized distribution of food increases the price for government itself. Sometimes they bring food to the schools, and the food that they brought to school A, you have one item that is more than the population of the school. Then they go to school B or C, and then that item is short in that school. So the headmaster of school B will take his phone and call school A. Then school A says, yes, I have a high amount of gari. Then you also say, I have high amount of maize. Then they will bring their vehicle and do some exchange. Because the buffer stock does not have the technical capacity to be in terms of the population on the schools at every time distribution is being done. Now, buffer stock also does distribution based on the available money government is transferred to it. So the question we ask is that why don't we avoid this bureaucratic EIF so that we do the thing simple?
The fear is that most more abuse those privileges are the mamono.
Oh yes, maybe to who say we have say create loophole now at the bonnier funds who take advantage. Therefore, look, me. If any government should fight centralization, it should be MPP government. If any government should be against centralized distribution of goods, it should be MPP government. NDC for which will be a social democrat. MPP is a conservative, capitalist-oriented, business-minded political party. So if anyone should be against centralization, it should be MPP government. But unfortunately, and then once you introduce centralization, people take advantage.
All right, Angel, lot of text messages about maybe key. Mechanics 3, but then you quickly respond and then go down so at why and come also I'm say.
Okay.
The Edika Bano. I say the tension on various campuses. Nana chum another way about the tension on various campuses, no. It's so unfair and it's not healthy for learning. Teachers may give awards something that is really not needed. Tension be schools Anna.
Oh, definitely no. Also 11 headmasters and headmisters they don't know their fate as we speak. Ama niakana or unse mkofobi so jijiska yambo mudin. Me manya report say schools are kese bi cry west, but how come that they didn't mention their names? Obi so afra catch me say list no call and na list no doors and say be banana list ya tiso and a whole lot of complaints. Obi nkofobi so am person omo ye bibi so omo so omo break because they also have to be careful. Ama unim so call with him and I will sound with cheap. Wow. So here for example, I can assure you say last semester no the prepaid is headmaster obey who bibi. See, I send me a prepaid better headmaster and the letter, my regional director, not in himself. I folding in
but there be a bad leader because none of that but none of that Dominic not a technical no one does sumo for a number of I think months or weeks and that one but that is not good but that as a leader so buying for a you don't devise any means to get maybe on the ECG for echo negotiation and our free parents be say quickly momo and anka yet means
but chami by initiative nuna a dima take care of one problems I mean say because me as for example look if I am a headmaster of a school I can identify parents who want to give without thinking about giving. I can assure you there are parents who will contribute to the education. Look, one day, school back will Accra have membody and a girl because catcher and papa say, "Oh, only examination fee." Do you know that the father of the other girl paid the school fees of this girl, paid her examination and everything, and my school? There are parents who, by the grace of God, are endowed and they want to help humanity. When you bring a PTA meeting of about 100 parents, you will get about some 50 who understand that for my child to get good education, I have to contribute. You will also get some small number. Also, one CB almost a buying a free in chia. Well, once the headmaster or headmistress is not putting the gun at the head of the parents, now only parents are casa my parents therefore so let's allow that to happen. I hear a headmaster baby.
I see. Kingsley Atefo also say, Kwabena, please let Angel Kapono understand that a school like Ganas, Kofodia had their anniversary in November this year. So what anniversary is the school going to celebrate next year for them to sell anniversary clothes to Form 1 students? And also the no.
Oh, but we are now on this message in Bayern. Anniversary cloth is not only for the occasion. So I'm also called secondary school. He knows that the anniversary cloth is printed. It's not only for the occasion. There are yards of the anniversary cloth, and they are now anniversary cloth. If I am a student of, me call Pope Jones, so me adore me call Pope Jones, and then omuton anniversary cloth me person me maybe.
Any big deal. Any big deal.
Okay.
Any big deal.
Aha. But for me, I don't see. Look. Ochami, Eviasi, romance. Wait a minute, come on for that sake. I can say romance cry, cry. Who a cow bitch. Romance without finance is ignorance.
I see.
Yeah, you will have to dip your hand in your pocket and make a contribution. Opa friend Mr. Michael Nsoa, GES council chairman. Obeka was a block if you were presec. Come on the back and what presec no I will for and a contribute to ye almost see that classroom block no. So the banner we presec the then so that classroom block no what amount for.
Okay,
the difference between Wesley Girls and Vakpo Secondary School is that the parents of Wesley Girls are blessed with some money and they contribute to provide facility in Wesley Girls. That's why you and I want to send our children to Wesley Girls.
Yeah, we are Nesaba Starsky War a year US of A. Or say, senior, we shouldn't try to rationalize or justify any action that is meant to extort money from students or parents. If a school is facing any form of challenge, either infrastructure or financial, the duty of the administrators is to inform the education department and the ministry, not to use the authority to collect any unapproved monies.
Legally, he's right.
Sadly, some heads and teachers are doing that to sabotage the policy, or, as they say, it's their cocoa season to make extra money. Let's condemn this and also hold the ministry accountable to provide what is needed. As for Kabonu, I would have been surprised if he said anything different. Starsky,
I agree with him. Legally, he's right. But being right has its own consequences.
It is a better than the free education ministry, Abba.
Oh, me and I have to headmasters,
Angel, how can you give such a directive? How? Oh, no, stop. But how can you do that? No, how can you do that?
Oh, Chami. Young man said me a headmaster or GSTS secondary grade. Now, while your boys who a boys' school and a junior you do light, I know what the boys can do. It becomes even worse if it is a mixed school, where about a week there is no electricity and the place is dark. I know what the boys and the girls can do in this day and age. So as a responsible headmaster, what I should do is to identify all students, identify parents, identify community leaders, to mobilize them to give support for us to make sure that the school is illuminated. But for Chame, are you sure that the CMH met me here?
Ehu kakrabeba. Ehu kakrabebem.
Ehu kakrabeba sa nenso se me masa ehu no pomesua. Amanfoma and the best of our. So we are in a catch-22 situation. I am not justifying collection of illegal money. I am just painting the situation as realistic as it is.
Yavansia na begin say week here no e dey ameno be say shia na otwe besimi awie dey why ni say media chow if say wo yemi nua ofi framantem so oba asante mantem a untimi mfo chiame ensi o man hina naida ka we no ka wo twa nwan be 20 na fe
obi dey about matem deal was say I never knew o man hina has been distilled. And the Kabonu keeps calling on my name or Chame. It is here two ideas.
Okay, so Kabonu, always a pleasure talking to you. Mijini say we'll find solutions to these issues that already happen. Yeah, that's it. Godwin, so quickly.
Yeah. Me patrol and quickly. One more being about 45 minutes. I just say quickly. I don't know how quick is that.
Okay, so
Mr. Ham, I must be kept. Metier in the Kabonu assembly. Bebre no meneni yabing. But answer question at the whole. Is it telling me, say, Opokwari focus about the anniversary club sika 280 Ghana cedis, and then a man a high target of what say 12 years of what they say, 6 years at Tony say, 6 years, say, 280 cedis, 280 cedis for Aquara anniversary club.
High target near 220.
And I went 280. It's very GTP and I said, and I ATL. The poor thing, a extortion.
Go back from crab because the
Padudona. Show. Was say justification. Okay, was say he wasn't trying to justify, you know. But then what can they say? School be hold ma light dumia diade.
Mama example.
Eti doc list about one thing in name. When yaka say be ya show item say a utility. Okay? Because the more can you items be almost some de kototo.
Hymns in the kaka.
Hymn book and your hymn book sika no and now they go to a light bill. Tie on. And your hymn book sika.
Anniversary cloth.
And your anniversary cloth sika. And your SZ booklet. A sika na de go to light who could go to a light bill. And there's a problem over there. Yantiasie, baby, yasia ko dru no. And the anniversary cloth near the adi. Obakwe na ye fie near the ye we bregu ho no. Anniversary about once a year. Who say be osha, who say be na say go house no fu bike say. We just echew.
Suzuka say tie. Nkoma ili. What has that got to do?
Man careful no say for dey na me na ye. Me careful na ke be ye ho afi. Me dey ekoso no. I pity heads of various secondary schools no. I omo ye mobo say obi a kira dia na bedru sing. Na asem say akoto no. But a bill so can o my hini e bi so can ho na asem na e to wo mo headmasters ni bi can ho wan kwaje him book sika wan kwaje na anye den man he book sika one kwaji enanye day eziad booklet na da mu notebook di 200 akwara obeje zade akotro ni di wo ma no mark ya body be ne wo ya booklet wo wi a wo de kwaji admission ba bia na I afraid say anniversary cloth obetama apam t-shirt wahye okwa di baby adru no omonto ombo kakra enye sa na aban baji dimbone esa so teacher for use baji dimbone obi the message ba say a create tension various campuses very unfortunately enye but yet timi kan so nka say aban so di for in totality o I was aban
now for sikanko
I was aban na disika community light bill again na din say aban beka say all various first second cycle institutions e Ghana nyina no ye de FN say postpaid meter and akobo ada ne ntimi nye enti aban nim say bosom mi ense bia ye makwan na aban prepare nya ne sika
3 months
enti 3 months no wane
ejina so sa
ejina so wane ECG for e agreement say be ya emeye burden ema me maame
because you charge 23 months but consumption be no consumption no
and there be o say postpaid
okay
postpaid enti bosom bia no omo de bill the ba to my headmasters who say bill no e kosoro no ane students ni din ko ka che say mo pon prep a mo make sure mo dundum light mo ye say ni ni da beto 3 months duru a abanya je bills ni nyimi ayi na wo to ma ECG for but unkofa prepaid enkobo ho na duma na oniska obeda akoso eduma na oniska obeda akoso na me ka me say pantry boys a ebe fidi ebe yedon wo dining hall your more students 1000 ube hia more hands when population equal to 5000 it's a more yedin say abai per se wo ye very strict which they have to dia almost making sure say almost responsibility no towards the schools no or more obligations no or more satisfied.
That's my point say the obi ani ho obeso so say school headmaster be and a headmistress be emfa kwati kwan bi NGD sika
interestingly
yeah
interesting me jini say ye ka say argument ni ya ebebu say headmaster ben and was say what this carry the cultural light bill enye ensemble say ya te say ID card or 200 cedis ID card 200 cedis no e ya by responsibility is it necessary
is it
necessary asem friend is anniversary cloth is it necessary it aban so wo de wo yo but nema ibo ho ma 2 party ba ko bi pod was say friend bibi Adam and Eve lock bi black bi you say friend Adam and Eve obi an to bi mbra ye no 80 cedis hwe dokin ka ye ba ko nema mienu anniversary cloth na mienu
yeah but the apam
the empam ye akwado wan she bi first year especially wan she bia na ye de was the white shirt wakotena ho no mo second year that time the parents at say anniversary be ba we 20 sika.
But why do we leave these chars for no any other relevant bodies out of some of these conversations?
Because that be say if they are left out of this conversation they are NSA ministry no so no o ma nyaade it will be difficult for me to understand say they were left out. They can't do that. Well, omuntimi ministry and say no kwan and fa impose on them. I was so mutinasi. Hwe sa prospectus. Minister say omujeje various prospectuses around the country. And now omo ekikabu. Omo kesi ani na mo hwe. Media ka will have thought to say ekomu ye wie no. E so mo sande ma a friend say chance for no mo hwe mo say dey abeni standardized one ni. Do you agree? Omgasi ye agree. No back for far. No my ye. Ne da ma wo. Say de be ya. Ye be ba no. Made a ha make kakra baby say. Aden ye list ye first ye release placement list na ba monting. E ba ya ye se ne dwada e kra na eko school. Ye nya ne sa me I disagree. And in fact, na the parliament ka say nkomo entwe nkwa animu no. Me na me support. Me babia enka ho but utie nkofo a and apart from utie nkofo no it doesn't happen anywhere say let's buy bodia edwada mu nyam nko school ejina so dim say ebi fita male kwa azim and don't forget say yete ono ye ma obi abra notice say in 2 weeks time ye babia school to prepare mu and obi ni sikada ho edo ga say oh ya de ka say na say wo ho no wonu say wo ba no obekọ school hey and say wutimi nya bia 3 months 3 weeks notice bi na 9 month impo na da prepare on kakra na ba ya wada yes next week adwada monko ya da say ministry dey hwe be release the list that na omo release no entem me no ka say enkwa no bebre nko school enkwa no ebi nko school bi munya play omo nyan ye place wo mo what you say eti no was say ministry ni hwe they have me kakra say oh man this is the 7th year of the implementation of the free SHS. Why must we be having some of these challenges? I didn't try. And no man, I know one said 3 years ago, you and this has the same way. I know one. But 3 years ago, you and 4 years ago, you and the 7th year, yeah, next year, you got to bow. I didn't same way as at a baby. I didn't try.
You are smelling.
I smell something. 7 years, I implemented the you. Eti kanema de ba bia first 2 years no ubenya some of these challenges 3rd year 4th year after ke smooth sailing but all of a sudden 7 years September 2007 and you implement ade and then December mu we 7th year and all of a sudden yet is hand manema we me pedifo hwe fa kwadwendwim. No more just a baby well, I don't know, but I'm a bit worried.
Well, God, maybe in command can be seen in a ways be fit into because
Lithium
our growing levels of and discipline.
Okay.
So what you say? Okay. Share number from even pricing. Nano they are Ebiana Pija and mobile tobacco. Na nebo no yesi answer na bro nya Larry so chiao meaning so person or part of the call
I'm right next Christmas ne bom ran ya Monday mu wa ha
Larry dogbe baby obiano ya chiao o so chiao
na me do na say so ti no ho paba
God ma number say hwe ayati said ye ni mo ye dwe
okay man
bibia no we take it for granted of course what's happening
the BC ye liberalize ye niema what you say enti no obia wo dia na wota eye de wanema wo didwa obia pese onya profit but profiteering oman wo tuma de nya profit de illegal eye pepper but when you profiteer from something na say no ye emfa so mro so we membe kan ma memfa enchiama wo mo a omoton toilet room.
Hey, wako kasem.
Toilet room. About to come now, Kofi, and I said, and the tea room, some with fee. A drew baby COVID peak time, no. I'm going to toilet room to nice 47 cities. I don't know about 25, no. A koya could do 47 cities. And then Yaminchadi, one more tontono, or Matiso. I'm a Minuka said, do na 32 cities. Baby Bebre, Bogopa, Abroswa 35 cities. A tomo talk 47 no or more abafum. Last year, by this time, na dread for Ghana no more came dollar a bini hot okota a co rooftop. And they maintain said for $1 dollar to maintain said $4 dollar bo akosura nanse no to say ukasa we estimate na edem projections because a hover around be at 12.5 12.3 12.2 11.8 etino I was setting range et I expect to say enema ebo e say kosoro sa I was say e wo form na wuntimi enforce obi ya no ntam I will say good and penny for tag in penny for a 24 penny for any trade ministry especially omkoso this I was so say the enema stability kakraba dollar exchange rate no and course rokese dollar eda so system no upe bia unya bi oman ene obi opeso konja dollar kakra e ko business bia no okaso upe bia ubenya bi enti I was say yema because oman one a workshop was on the enema we use on the fee ni nyina no the shop on kwar moto no
dynamic as a price control but I'm say anya adwuma
price control do ka mo say debi me ma suggest be that but yenya ne sa you can only appeal to the conscience of traders say wo hwe e to ba mo no nya ayi mathematics na kakra say exchange rate net that say we say freight charges are ba say port to nema port taxes so there not about me buy so what is port charges who say pa or man who mu chemi not about me buy so no ye no what so and man no do so hododo e be a pure madness enti esom no mo ye calculations no mo hwe say na mo just say settle a yibi suggestion be to them say adie we mo de ba mbetima turn between this and that te said the petrol for ton ayi fueli who say NPA for and a set say e betima turn the say range we it is that range obeton say goil for air tomo de 12.10 we mu so de tomo de 12.17 we mu tomo de 12.20 ni ade a it is still within the same range but untimi gonna the days na kwasibotwi ebeta TV so a brodo kra no what the price ne ba no those days
it's a free sale regime
yeah free sale regime no it's nipa at liberty say do pe bia wo de gi na mo ka to say wo to ade wo di dwa enya profit de eye papa enya mesom but wo ye profiteering de e say wo bu nipa afaso wo bu nipa afaso e ha adwen honestly speaking wo hwe se de si so far na ma course 2 years ago and the last year now afi ese ka nema eso tipa but na make an ebi mo atomo nema so ebia see rate at which ke be koso no so no enkoso but still trade minister ne mpanifo omo na dwadifo no eni nkomo omo no muni nkomo ka cho se esremo enema ba fo mo dia mo madwadi tibafo so yeso benefit kakra na ye fatist.
All right, Larry, good afternoon. Apom to say
good afternoon. We have
oh nyame adom bibia e kama na opese so do adwenkyere ba wo me sure education sem na opese do adwenkyere ba correct
so no
what are my you
but before I make one some no say god you know it's cream me hair cream hair cream corner but so I just don't mommy be na depend on how igbeni
depend on how igbeni ampa yeah cat hunter.
Okay, so okay, all right, so we are back. Yeah,
sure. I think no me you know about way friends school placement, you know. I think self-inflicted though, because time we are starting, you know. Now I think we had 2 batches of students school, and they were fee paying. They were paying everything. So you could have the first batch in school early enough to meet their seniors, first years and second years. But then as the years roll by, then the numbers keep increasing, and then pressure was mounting on government and school authorities as well. Now, what are the teachers the school authorities expected to do? You are having students on campus. They have to be fed. They have to be giving friends and books. I think some instances they are getting sandals, school uniforms, and many other things. There's so much pressure from Form 1 to Form 3 all the way down to Form 1. So then the school authorities will have to do something. I have heard said there are instances where it be more Gary, and then they have to take it all the way to another school to go and get beans. So they've resorted to barter trading. Send a buyer on between feeding Colano. Okay, so I think maybe this is the time where the ministry and as a government, and then Charles, as in the administrators of the school, and even parents down there would have to sit down so that, listen, we should think as to a way forward. But in the absence of that, I'm seeing this whole thing as a presidential special initiative. By let's say 2025, no, yeah, January. I mean, that's it. So it becomes part of our political history. Yes, that's here now in for by yeah, and now they couldn't continue it, and so it have left it.
Unfortunately, Larry lying to me. Because I'm saying Busan and same Larry. Me and Sam from okay, Metunka.
See, so there's a huge problem that we all need to sit down as parents, as policy makers, and then so that we think as to a way forward.
But Larry, Tieni, na Esika.
That's all. Esika. It all boils down to money. And so we are pretending there's no issue. Okay? And then then we are having to create tax on people. As the school authorities said, they have become like extortionists. They are not supposed to do this, yet they are doing it.
That's exactly the point now. They are not supposed to do this, and
yes,
that's what
they are doing it. But why are they doing it?
Because they are saving situations in the school.
Yeah, some of them are. Obviously, Bola fee, writing fee, teacher motivation fee. Some of the things are actually out of this world. However, there is an issue. We're cutting across. Why is it happening in Volta region? Why is it happening in the Eastern region? Why is it happening in Central region, Ashanti region, Brown Afro region, and so on? It's widespread. Some of the parents are not even talking about it because they feel that, listen, they are having to pay. So they are going to pay because then their kids have to eat. Listen, there is PRESEC. If the authorities are minded, PRESEC, they have a system. Parents send money to their kids all the time, almost on weekly basis. Weeding. Parents will have to have contributed to buy mower for the school. They are having to pay for additional hands so that the authorities can cook for these students. They are having to engage security people, extra security people that parents are paying. They are not talking about it because they thought if they talk about it, maybe it's going to affect the school authorities, and then there's going to be pressure on PRESEC and so on. And so then they don't want to talk about it. There is trouble. We should admit it, and then everybody will go scot-free. But this kind of ostrich behavior where we are pretending, say, everything is working, and that it is the authorities that have become extortionists or something, for me, I don't think it sits well.
But between the two of us, everything is not working. That's one we
but then let's have the president admit it. Say, listen, guys, let's have a look at this thing again. It is my policy. I have tried it, but then there is pressure everywhere. And so, guys, let's sit down. I mean, you see, Sankofa and Yedeng. I mean, yes, let's go and have a look at it. You have misconstrued review to mean, say, abrogation. And all those things. We all know that they are all politics.
But how would you respond to Kwabena Bright? I see most Ghanaians will always find means to loot from vulnerable, poor folks. We are not God-fearing beings in Ghana.
I agree with him. So listen, we take advantage of a lot of people. What you are here, we take advantage of ourselves all the time. However, this is a critical issue that we all have to sit down and jaw about it. I don't think that the teachers and the headmasters are extortioners. We are creating evil out of them. Obviously, however, this particular thing, it's widespread. Some of the parents are not talking about it at all, but they have gone through it. There's a school in Eastern region. I think, let me be blunt. I mean, we don't have to hide it. For Penny Secondary School, where somebody went the other day and then he was told that, you know something, when you are coming, bring at least 2,000 Ghana cedis because there are little payments you have to make. Now, Bishop Herman in Pando, my own school, the other day, I think it was reported that they are paying close to 2,000 Ghana cedis. And it's for some of the payments are quite outrageous, really. I think writing fee was you know. So you ask yourself, where are we going with all this? Now back to the at the minister's level. Mm-hmm. When he was called to Parliament and told, you know something, can you delay the the reporting date for a while. He said no, they couldn't do it because they had to go back to where we had to go back to where we were before the COVID started. But on my Gordon studio, I recall when we were going to school, no, you had about 2 months or even a month to prepare. Go to town, go and buy your shoes, your khaki, your white shirt, chopbox, trunk, and all those.
But if you look at what the minister said, times have changed. So clearly,
listen, but we can't be worse. Minua, we can't be worse because times have changed. Then we just use times have changed. So you release the thing on November when? November 30th, and I said somewhere thereabout. And then 4 days later, parents and then their wards will have to go to school within 4 days. But before you even release the thing, we'll say they have to go and pick up with prospectus. What time are they going to pick up that? Go to markets to go and buy what and when? Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And then come and prepare your ward to go to school. Listen, even some of the students, when they go to the school, I can speak for Soga School. When they got to the school, they checked through the list of the items that they were supposed to bring. Then they went through away and this this one, this that. After that, they told I'll say this, my cousin that listen, he should take my nephew back, my niece back home. Yes, and that they should report somewhere. They should report somewhere in January or something like that. So there are schools where students have reported, and then after going through the list of items that they are supposed to buy, they were told to go back home and come back another day. Do you know why they did that?
No.
There's no food to feed them. If you keep them in the school, you have to feed them. How are you going to feed them?
But there's no food. What to be that?
There's no food.
Are you sure, Larry?
Yes, but the authorities will have to provide for the food. Check.
That's a Adriani debut was that maybe an as soon as
check. They are telling them to go back home and report another day. At least I know of Soga School. I know of some other schools as well.
That Adriani.
That listen, they are sending them back home. Why would you send them back home if they're your friends and they are supposed to be in school? Why would you be sending them back home if they are supposed to be in school and learn? They have tried everything. Wakao, Pia, Nana Fofo, family, but everywhere. Oh, Miko school about. They went and came back within few hours because so they have gone through. You are a student. We have registered. You go and come back in 3 or 4 weeks time. Where are we going with this? Yes, minister says your friends say we have made progress and that everything is okay. You ask him about the same progress that is supposed to have been made. Yet, instead of the computer admitting almost everybody, it says that, oh, you know something, computer ain't to me admit you. You have to do self-placement. And why is that self-placement? It is only because 81% of the students have been admitted. So you now have to go through the system and then place yourself. And that has even created more avenues for corruption. Am I lying?
Yeah, you're really, but there's a catalyst talk on maybe we should adopt a different strategy.
No, so then the man does in the 81% of the students having,
the Ministry of Education, sometimes they put out figures.
Yes, I mean, but statistics is, it's subject to anybody's twist and interpretation. Okay, what did you even tell us the number of students who were friends and who had gone through the system in the first place? And then also, so we have that. And how are we able to even assess your claims that 81% have been admitted?
Okay,
we don't know.
Hold on,
so it could even be 40%.
Dominic, so Gasco, Moma reporter in try very critical issues. Obi Wafasi echo back because of there's no food. And yes, he school me boy. Yes, he school. And what reporters say echo back.
Yes. That is news to me.
Baba
Larry.
Where tell about Larry. Then I'm supposed to Larry. Now for wrap up.
Me person be busa Larry say Larry. Exact
200 exact book.
Exact book. Exact book. Exact book. Anniversary cloth. ID card for parents. ID card for students. What has it got to do with the welfare of students on campus? Yeah, they are my responsibility. You know, you teach a teacher for that decision. I mean, you know what you blame me buy for that.
No, so I'm saying that they are outliers. Okay, I mean some of the things, some of them.
But you know that take center stage
because mostly, you know, and rest we know over corner. I recall said Bishop Herman. Now during our years, you have generator fee. More, you know, you go school. First year, you have generator fee. Second year, we pay for generator. Third year, we pay for generator. And those who came before us, those who came after us, or even before us, some of them were paying generator.
But who go free SHS?
But who
go free SHS?
No, miracle SS. But even no, but I'm just using that as an example.
Yes, to the free one.
People sit down and collect money for nothing. Do you understand? They are not even able to account for it.
Who said Larry Chobo? Abusku.
Yes.
Abuakwa State College.
Yes.
Omo Jessica Mowa Tio Mowa.
Yeah.
Mowa. Omo G student bia 150 Ghana cedis. Mowa.
Thank you. Mowa hin omo kwa koto.
Ebia
na Mowa no dey say na kojibo.
Mowa ukope Mowa to 5,000.
4,000.
5,000. Omo G student bia 150 cedis. Why must government suffer for this?
You will be shocked, say, listen, after collecting that whole money, the students will be required to buy cutlass.
Exactly.
To go and weed, me why?
And to go and weed. To go and weed. So some of them, the system has a way, should have a way of investigating these things and then punishing these authorities.
Okay.
Put yours here. Because you can't collect money for MOA. I mean, how many students are in there?
Yeah, and
they are going to pay.
1,000 though.
And then you go and buy more for an answer 5.
Hey.
The rest of the money, where does it go?
And I'm more cry grass in the door. It's a baby school park so pay and the dog grass and also because I never been able to use more.
You'll be shocked, say, listen, on the prospectus, cutlass and hoe.
Okay, so Larry, what they said the other no, I feel the way and now they got in a Elvis Dark will be shower.
I feel remember. So I saw continue my any hair cream na member.
Hair cream no crack.
What your crack on one? You want to elevate the conversation?
Okay, Mati.
But only mo do nyako.
Odo nyako.
Larry Penam no do.
I say odo nyako bisa say. Na odo nyako bisa say that on the free ako B and I'm the bisa wa. Hi kwa Larry that's it. For your time.
That's
thank you so much. Larry Dugbe and on student in Komo Abaka and Komo Ido. We see a lot of parents so I am very worried.
The bishop mama enyantie say aban say institution be school genuine they can apply for exemption. Aban be more exemption say I dey ready a peculiar to mu school no eti mu kwan say moji.
Basana na Kabonu kase. Untimi mfa krata bako this IE prospectus.
Ya no exemption wo ho no. Exception.
Also share graph na wa draw no here until ka say onim schools a atwotwo wuru a omo eko outside what
for all you know every sort of man apply for a year exception am ye ama wo some dem beti
amako stress.
Yes, ministry say wo sa eyi na
akwanya wo no munyo nkita.
Yeah, exactly.
No more akwanya na
because ade a ye hia no pokuare no enye bi na we go
any Kumasi Wesley Girls.
There be
Kumasi Wesley Girls.
Midday
matter is there.
They friend midday. Yeah, money say for no. Oh, eti ade ye hia no pokuare no. Enye bi ye no ade.
Ana Kumasi Wesley Girls.
But ye GS adase ministry na ye ne say. First of all, akwara bia welfare and paramount say who goes to know is about your welfare. No masha no mu say when enemy bo ma e cast across e den school bia be hia bi It is a moment they are peculiar to you. Make an application to them. On the mount, say fire. Now, what to me, and say, under the guise of say, it will be an canyon to me doom and to me the school club 280 cities and the coach. You know they are wrong because keep your itemized bill and whatever.
Okay.
Water billing, light billing, come.
Okay, so a lot of you want to go back to the O-level situation, A-level.
I will say one more time.
Yeah, Tina Person, that time.
A 10% say,
free now, and
soon Cassa free SHS in Trasan and Mary Yaba. Now, Larry time on your free. None free so much a generator. It is not about free SHS.
Come not bright, Kosokase. We have to embrace new dimensions today. We are not ready to make things work in Ghana. Fred Agbanyonso Eddie about say it is people like Minimso Noka Boadu. That is the problem of this country. They are so politically drunk that they will never allow common sense to make sense to them. Is he saying that head teachers have teamed up to make the government unpopular because of elections? What is he saying? Look at him blaming traders. Does he know the cost of import duty? God have mercy on us. Clearly, and it is a winner. Fred Agbanyonso, okay.
And the catch of Fred said, and I would tell on one team.
Debbie, to what?
So what do you mean? Did I blame traders? Where did I blame traders?
To what?
Men to me, Bossy. I got not meant to
on Tias, and said, the old man.
Now, we won't say you want to misconstrue what I've said to set me again. Men Tiasia.
Okay.
Mekan was say, toilet roll, now 47 and 32. Mekan,
you can come.
So what are you telling me?
Messa Andy Yako. Nano me was in now be our Bono East. Now can acquire some names. Maybe Tiafo, maybe with the fatcher already now what you done. Mentimia na ye wosuane na ye boama jumedie suku bia kofie Japan.
Very important, very important.
It's
about contributing our quota to the nation building as stakeholders.
Yeah, that's it. But I'm excited say journalists are taking active part in the conversation away. Because then the NSC about the rule.
If you pick some security sector document and reforms as relevant stakeholders yes we are contributing. If you mention the CSOs for now, policy think tanks now, yes we are even if you pick Ghana's national security strategy document now on Mampeni launch year 2020, which is aimed at securing a prosperous with Ghana having that continental and global influence and reach now. When you flip through the documents, you can be say as I said, yes we are contributing, this governance that we are all talking about. It is good that we find ourselves in this place, and today's insightful discussions are more yet for education sector no. Is it not a tried knowledge, sir? In pre-P, sir, before government will send releases to schools, this is a chance. Ebe bo aban koko, ebe kasasa and sana. You see, that is why partly I agree with Mr. Angel Kabonu said this. We are not supporting people flouting the law or going contrary or to the injunction of whatever arrest you have been given, right? But the fact is that some persons are near Manutra as a also play a part. You understand what I'm saying?
It is Hano all refer to the role that Abai SSO play.
SSO play the timely releases of funds to the schools. Some schools I am investigating and I will not mention, but Omakachiro say matter one for background as directed by the education service now with the orientation next year Omubakura your orientation. Why is it that when our policy makers want to implement a policy, They will not do need assessment. They will not engage relevant state authorities and listen to them. So before that directive said, as I saw Muko school, as I saw Muko school, whether you like it or not, as I saw Muko school, no. Let me say, teacher unions are out. These teacher unions, are they not stakeholders in the education space? But why? They're intransigent on the part of policymakers. That is it. They're intransigent. That, oh, ya can't be as I say, ya can't be as I saw Muko school. I think that next year, Namibia tell that Ghana be the listen, irrespective of the political party that you support or whatever. Say sorry, and Masa, Ghana, I'm a Ghana be mobile because see we are talking about human resource. Base of this country, and you must start from the scratch. Angel, I was happy that he said, sir, when you go to the basic school, do you know what is happening at the basic school? It is sickening. So why is it that when we are making policies and we don't engage relevant stakeholders before we come out with in implementing decisions? And you see, many times that is the backlash. That is the backlash. I am not supporting. I'll be the last person for somebody to go on that extortion spree. Godwin can say, when you are profiteering unnecessarily, so you use contrasting we say now the Jessica be Esma Masa because now who cause them? It is you. You have left this vacuum there because you are not making the releases timely. You are not making timely releases, and so what do you expect them to do? This is not to say that we support what is the extortion that is going on, because Kiamoa and Namoa again. We know go school. I have what body house. Nyanko grants work. And no, say the houses. Omachawayama near Quacodo. And almost more. And more yam can. Nipa Baku 150. Assume we saw me 200. Massa, Sikania coin. Into Piabanyamoa. Into Muko grants work and all be the more door. Is that what they want to tell us? But I expect say, our policy makers, and this goes directly to the ministry. Sometimes they should engage. Nyansa, any baku for Trimo.
But we cannot be sure, sir. Ministry need be too sad without engaging the relevant stakeholders. It's difficult to believe that.
When the teacher unions came out, and I'm happy, sir, Angel Kabonu re-echoed that. Sir, they came out to say, sir, Sebaya, would you first week in January, no? Now, Monko. By that time, I still say this Xmas fever need to now I will follow so Abuabo Mohonin and so forth. Say, Omanfa, I recall, say, on your sister station, your network, listen, the PRO for the Ghana Education Service, ever out, say, they've taken the concerns of these teacher unions on board, and so they will see what to do. You understand? Only for the next morning, almost see directive of the Ministry of Education say, Masa, Upa Ompo, SSO Muku School. Is that a way we run a policy in this country? Okay? In Prepi. And I'm surprised sometimes you sit in the same class with them and we are taking through this policy cycle, and one key ingredient has to do with what? Doing need assessment by engaging the relevant stakeholders. Into the Prepi, about to make see market at their Opianko. Was that their need? Perhaps that a corona see market, no, their need is to be connected to the national grid or to get potable water. So, so we must hold our leaders to their feet. They must be accountable to us. Accountability now it's not only the financial accountability. All these things are involved. And next year, it won't go like that. It won't go like that. It is sad that sometimes even when you want to take on our leaders very constructively, even with your own political party people, they will say, the conclusion is that you have been bought. Who has bought somebody? With what money? Listen, we must all contribute up. We must speak up. Because I'm a Ghana. Amagana ya yemobo.
Staski
na obi ka say ukwa death no ho. Pneumonia sensem yo. So if the parents have decided say oh say. I mean, they should do it. Those parent teacher association. Say now Omubua school. Omubua. So children now abanshe say they shouldn't do anything. There should not be any payment as far as this free senior high school space is concerned and our regime is concerned. Yet they are not getting the timely releases of funds. How do you expect them to run the school? They cannot run the school effectively and efficiently, and that point must be made black and white.
Okay, so me no baby on this point, or US was adding the contribution of baby was say we shouldn't lose sight of this. There's a difference between parents volunteering to provide some needed resources to the school as against heads and school administrators making it a compulsory requirement for the parents, either heads or tails. The fact is that this is a season for school heads to make their monies, and they will find all means to do that. You agree?
I think that when you want to use any means necessary to extort money or to charge unapproved fees, we are against it. We are not supporting illegality. I will not support illegality. But what I'm saying is that.
But he calls out your name. He says, "Is Andy suggesting that it's because the ministry did not agree to the suggestion from the teachers to postpone the reopening until January? That's why they are also extorting money to sabotage the government policy."
That's why we are making this point. They should listen. The contests are here, Kasa. He's missing the issues. What we are saying is that, listen, when they are coming out with policies and our decisions, my point is that they should engage the relevant stakeholders. That is my point. I think, sir, my earlier remarks make us say, yeah, support illegality. But you can just check this day, technology, Google, just in preppy, just better. We are not getting the food. We are not getting supply of food. We are not getting the. So, what do you expect us to do? What do you expect the people to do? I'm not saying they should go and charge any other proofs, but for you to cure all these things, make sure that which way you're necessary, you must play your part. You understand what I'm saying? Into your mind, I think, sir, Yanka said, Upeso rule policy and so rule, but engage people, and
they can come
get their contribution, and when you get a buy-in and you are implementing the policy, that is the way you will have a successful policy implementation.
All right, and
that is all. Larry said, the Bishop Mema now all boss no 2 years ago. Yeah, go. I'm okay to brand here. Uncle Pando secondary school.
Unimodro Safo.
Aye.
Unimodro Safo pa.
Yes.
What your crata tintin biaba na tintin tetenya ze asamato eti kola kopa mankan ene ehibidi na ewie de wabobom dodo
asamato me ato no say how we are concerned say you got the year concerned ya kwa me ojo ya
okay.
I think your platform is a very great one, but I think that before
of course, the usual thing we do. Your good self, Larry, Elvis Dako, and Gordon Asarabediako. Don't worry.
Amen.
Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. Kingdom Real Estate for Ekaos Adankra Papa Bibi Bia Wumbi and Chemne Gordon Ebiwi and Komono Adankra Papa one war a crop right after Latte Junction and I say Bree Girls Senior High School. Say Ope Adankra baby Abitimatina da Ajojo no one you assume na proximity to Nyoma home for so hospital Boutique Falls Safari Valley Resort na Kingdom Home Real Estate say one is on your dinkita home. One coin, one issue, one kanya, a facial bamboo 247. The man down so crown say, they all can say Utimitia or Hemu in Chemu, a Dunimana said Diosua. In Fiemino, na in Sunia Cano, Yamasa Quanya, no immediate piano, Kakra interest beer and home. Kingdom say menka say wetim so no akọ www.kingdomhomerealestate.com now if wait meeting and come ho yi say o frɛ on so there 055 96 71 144 and 055 56 12611 Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality. Now my cost for accounts a syntax tanky bronya nebo sumi bia I won't be an debiara dano. Essence in soon was some the be sia a yepa and syntax tank na make out for a very strong and tough, very strong and tough. Over 300 agents or maimu baby and yet tank bia keken yekoto. Open the layers no eye ba ko mienu miensa enaya syntax tanks make out sa akwanya no abeto ho ede amount nti obenya sa akwanya ne bi opese order tank no so afre number we 0244 335 168 0244 335 168 na fe social media so at Syntax Ghana and our shop online www.syntexgh.com Syntax tank a very strong and a tia ponsu yin side tough and kasa Ecobank madam massive said the moye de sonko say nepa de o dial star 770 hasha your new Ecobank emergency money number I don't know ti baby I'll be find yourself biano o the answer o dial star 770 hash the amount instant access to loans, fund transfer, utility payments, airtime, data purchases and say enyoma ohia ankasa se utimidi echo ani mu abrabom ehu bia nim the person shobon ehu bia nim bribia abakwa onyanyem no Ecobank se menka jo say your money emergency number no star 770 hash na afi wona so asolve o challenges nyina edi ama Ecobank ya gia to say one year the Pan Africa Bank. Now, Makai also say Adonko Soft Drinks and Beverages Limited so and they one the Angel Orange, Angel Mango, Angel Peach and Angel Apple Lime no abedja so Christmas party, wedding, funeral, bibia ye ni peshe muna ya nom bibi ama ya koma to yem de Angel ebusuya kuno and edesa de ma on tibakacho your Angel Apple Lime no your Angel Peach no and your Angel Mango and your Angel Orange ko pebito na ebema bribia da na we feel say it's your day. Angel Drinks, it takes like our day ebusuya and ye kan for edemomo free 0244832286 or 0507878668 now what timini on edinkita Angel cola soft drinks beverages limited I don't go the abano one na edesa na montu esunku abro Christmas see any omo ne ko etu sa abasako god in here rapport up ai me pesa me ko na mamenchi August na hemfu ni mo so ni August hemfu wakai me na no da me time se fiada no ana ya wada no na me se kotokobehye 3
okay
na has intimi shebi the worst cry has behye baako
okay
na de ema kotokofo de ama mebuafu ewia na me bes mekasa ba August hemfu na atwem adweso so oni obi oji obi di say o spiritual father no na oma wa kwankyere say ya
esa wo ye udi
chim anase wanya asem to na de ebo om no say that day e car 8 minutes ana me call park to full time na me call park yes I can house watika no because of course because dem chere
I say nema wo mu
dem chere yen say egu ho mo ba park ne so a mo fa mo chi ana in wrap park ne so wrap up ni nkoda we be ya ka house asem twuma mu na kusu na se ahye house for no
na house dey say me dey house dey
so wo dia se dey si ahye house for no
omuti ne ye
ewurade nyagopo
oman adu ye sa be chance me din komo bi
okay
Lithium masema
me hu se na person di san komo no
be se me di san komo ne pa
because there's a release in so aba
from him
from na me say we yes we boss na quickly na me hwema chumpatro ye bana yakoke
I was say Ghana mpanifuo bi ti ase se say abind the policy bar abind to anamon bi na say won so ye Ghana ni na say wo se wo support wa se bi mpeduasa mo fa cheme na nche se wagimi na enche say wo ye robot na enche say woni adwen na enche say obi enama usika na enche say obi atoka amaw enche say obi atowadwen say aban e the policy ba oman na say wo criticize na enche say onanim nyansa mesi so bi say aban tu anamon na say wo criticize ya na no enche say wo na wonim nyansa bibia enche say you can criticize out of malice. You can criticize just for propaganda's sake. Abra, eye holo. Abra wuni point biya, but you just want to paint the government black. Ewo. Obi so everything I support to aban just merely by the fact is say what support to aban inti. So I didn't go benku and you said you was me support to. But the fact is say what support to. Now we did this obi ntia woka. No, sorry. The fact is say what say won support to their aban ye. Now we did this and you be na atwa woka. And then about team catch wo ho say obi so support to aban den dia na say be ono so obi atwa deka. Wo ye nipa chen no.
Nti obi adwe nche na odi enhia.
Obi adwe nche ni odi enhia nche se be produce an wono no ya to no. Ya to na adwen. Na wo dwe se wo bro se be to wo so. Wo kasa asa wo bro so se be to. Wa wo kasa asem no e de na kire se wo de obi ntimi nto
na ye toto
se wo na eka because wo da wo kasa no support to aban no e de yato no.
Mass Action for Sustainable Development in Africa, Mazda. Omachron krata tin
ewo de be ho
ewo lithium no
oh man menkan ma tin de mintimi
tin
ma menka de me wo mitimi
akawiasa
oh man hwe mine na ankasa wonu se won kofukuo wo Ghana omugidi se Ghana japa yi agudie nyina kwanisi yetu
ebinim gidie no
ebigidie no se Ghana agudie biye wo fom bia no ekema ne nwo ho se yetu na sa ban benyamu 80% na obi oba betu benya 20% krampa woni gidie ni se ma yentu agudie ma ne nwo ho
fata ise fiada nkoma ebetime di ni yie pa no
yambo de fiada
so be wa
fiada metukun
so be wa fiada
na hwe me kwa asema abelito
e tintin
ne se wo gidi se aban de a waye no anamo no mo otu no se wo support a kan wasem de won so se aban no mo otu no a omotu no wo support no ma no so kan asem but don't make condescending statement. Okay, as if someone nyansa chen de obi o support to aban.
Okay. Mama na say
e fa na ti bisa fuchi kata ene we fe de say ansa papa me refi ni din full name no. Ono na Minerals Commission Ghana. Minerals Commission started Papa J time. He was the first person CEO of Minerals Commission. Fuchi kata aye lawyer for about 40 years. Mining who ne be no wonim. So ono so bibia ba no so aka bia was a mentia say mo na mo chotro University of Ghana which mining political science department na wo which mining when it comes to say say expertise dia eka Professor Jampo kon qualify eka fuska tam na ke babo market because me say me qualify me ka bi but ye nyina nipa ye common sense ye betimi analyze ne mani bi Omon emma superior argument say lithium agreement here aben Africa country ben Africa how many countries yes Zimbabwe as say any other countries worldwide why no agreement are better than Ghana.
Okay,
who made that example?
So ebia utie Mass Action for Sustainable Development.
So say what to be point about
that utie omo kasa mafona or my brief me sure so best you na fe yes but o my brief the okasa na adwuna baso.
Okay.
Erratic my high.
Oh.
Pacho boko die.
Nyamiadum, namuso.
O nyamiadum bibia ndam ne kwanso. Enkoma ya ye die page mu ana se da bi. Ahai dem se nso opeso de wadwe nkyere betom. E de airport na peso kan o san hyehyɛ a ya ye ho.
Me da se ye di kan ese mamincha ye tifo nyina ene ewie na mincha wabijofo enkanka godi me tinen kache.
Papa.
Yes. The woman is the edican say lithium and green elements sabi and to say any other mineral
and they are not like the other minerals we are familiar with, Essence, because of their potential and their prospects in the green transition, these are unique elements. It should not be situated in the context of the way you discuss diamond and gold because we are strong. Because of climate change, amama nyina yen sisaye omu yen sakra bi efa the way I see yenuma. One of the things amama bibli to achieve decarbonization is the transition to electric vehicles. And you share electromobility industry na papa, but the fact man lithium batteries ye manufacture edimasa vehicles no. And lithium is the future. Lithium is the new oil. What I say? And I said, lithium, a bedroom maybe, sika yenya every fan woman, yenya sa sika ne biom. Ne mum Yankupon or dogana brosonti. While he has blessed us with lithium, which would be the substitute in the future for oil. And it is the oil in Hokrana, near Ebema Amama and Sikanoso, Yankupon Ashen Ama Yenyebi. And so we cannot be having the conversation about lithium like we do when it comes to other minerals. Near the kind, Now, our expectation is BBC, we need to treat it like we treated oil, so that we can avert the tragedies that befell us. Yenya gold, because we share gold. Yenya sebi. That Ghana is a gold rich country. She knew her extra. And she said, mining list, she said, there are a lot of things you need to take into account. But Rebecca and who later, issues to do with broader engagements and consultations. But having said so, let's come specifically to this current mining lease agreement. Mazda has acquired a copy of the mining lease agreement. And we've taken our time to study it. And there are a lot of concerns that we have raised. I'll just share some of them with you, or my any yeti for. Maybe kind, young royalty rate, Royalty rate, according to the agreement, government is entitled to 10%.
10% total revenue.
Yes, of total revenue. But Unim said that rate is not protected by any law. What that means is that if you have subsequent negotiations, if you have subsequent agreements, it is likely that the rate might come down. Nancy Amika Sane said, we share the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, as amended. As a man for 8 years, they say, we've amended the Act twice in respect of Section 25, which is where the royalty rate is taken care of. Before 2010, now we had a range. Eka said, we should be entitled to royalty between 3%, not less than 3% and no more than 5%. And of course, mining companies conveniently stuck with the lowest threshold, which was 3%. And in 2010, we did an amendment. The Act 794 by to amend Section 25 to say, look, we are no longer going to do a range, but we are sticking with a specific percentage, which is 5%. But we realized that, look, we are still not getting the maximum from gold. And in 2015, we further amended the same act. And the Act 900, which is an amendment to the Act 703, the principal enactment. And we amended again Section 25 to say now it's no longer 5%.
We can go beyond that.
Royalty rate to be determined by the minister. That is in respect of all minerals. That time, now lithium, that is the anti-say amount for Enyano. And like as Nancy American stated, the preamble said lithium is strong, the future. No, it is because of arguments I made so that amount for better say in that context. Now, in lithium, of course, in lithium, we've always known that Ghana has lithium, but this year you say it has economic value. And the who signing agreement says no. You want to be sure, say, just like in the past where royalty rate was clearly stated, no. With lithium, you have a specific royalty rate that is stated in the law. Obi a oil investor and wants to invest in lithium, and say about royalty rate in Ghana, there or lithium, say next year. But this agreement is not covered, up 10% is not covered by any law. But the interesting thing is that when we amended the act, section 110 subsection U of SAR Act or of SAR amendment, and of the act, Emma minister to me to make regulations through an ally to set specifically what and to prescribe specifically what the royalty rate would be. And the answer of signing these agreements is that you ought to have introduced a regulation through an ally, and you ought to have made regulation through an ally, drawing your powers from section 110 of the act. But minister, what that means is that there's a likelihood that different agreements would have different royalty rates, because that 10% is not captured in any law. The law only tells you that the minister may prescribe a royalty rate. What if the next agreement, Jumana company say, 10% need the entity by 10% royalty? What does that mean? It means that there are going to be different royalty rates for different lease agreements.
But as amended, second one gave us the power, say, beyond 5. It is already a quarter. Maybe I agree, say, and yes, stable, a bit more about 7. The next one, a bit more about 8.
Meanwhile, Manus are more to me. So for you, this is where you're strong. We shouldn't treat it like all other minerals. And TBBI is strong, which is our future, no? Why the haste? I saw Tobo, Nanka, Mrana, and Malquino to introduce an ally that will state specifically said when it comes to lithium, Ghana for GBBR below 10%. For example, even though I feel that we could even increase the rate, but let's even stick with the 10. With that ally, no, all other subsequent agreements, NM said there is an ally that states specifically what rate we should be getting from lithium. And we are investor now, and you have been because
but if you listen to some of the arguments, especially from the Minerals Commission, Papana, maybe Yehusa a Chedia Sunku if we know. One ID can cry to Sana Mono. O share your modimbo, our Bakosemu, any Obia Fofona. Ye PJ Muyi, ya boy homo dimpa. So the noise around it, and they go back to make they go back to make the reference. Yahu dini did be bringing an age na 5%, and they almost pencil a page might do 10%. It means that they've done well.
Lithium is not like gold. Look, the demand for lithium has increased exponentially. Look, there is a projection. In fact, there is a BBC report. Eka say if we are to meet an entire lithium, it's because of the green transition. And for us to meet the Paris agreement goals, the projection is the demand for lithium would increase by over 40% to the 2022 levels. In fact, Tesla is projecting by 2030 they will be buying 10,000 kilotons, kilotons of lithium by 2030. Tesla no. Imagine the other green technologies are ebeba. And the demand for lithium, you can't compare the demand for lithium to the demand for gold. What is here? And you see the gold story is a tragedy. And you say the car lithium was also because gold story, we turn gold story. The gold story is a tragedy. It's a disaster. And failure class become awesome. And that this is an opening. It's a new arrangement. We should not repeat the mistakes of the past. And one with your justifications now, the entire almost you rate, almost certainly see any some of the arguments you say the investment in the area is too much, and that is a risky investment. Business when any risky. But tell me, this business, our start here, you are guaranteed profit. Every business is risky, and you see this is common business logic. They higher the risk, they higher the returns. And if I'm looking at the demand and the trend for of demand for lithium now, it shows that the prospects are higher. And in America, if we even agree to a 10% now, protect it with a law. And the April and who say a mining a lease agreement. Without the law, I bet you protect it at 10%. There is a likelihood this is just arbitrary, this is discretionary. And a subsequent agreement can even be lower. What was here? But anchor year to a airline now. Everybody investor behind him say, look, me buy investment in lithium, royalty and that is one. That's on the royalty. Then the second one is our free carried interest. Manu is very clear on how much government can take by way of free carried interest. And the equity interest in every mining, in every mineral operation at 10%. That is what Section 43, subsection 1 clearly states. But subsection 2 goes to say that you can, however, increase government's interest. But it doesn't say the increase is going to be free. Now, Abansi, they've negotiated 13% for lithium. Now, this is based on I like to, characterize it as the negotiation skills of the minister. Fanise Ochinebi, why are lucky with Bahari DV Ghana Limited? Ochina, another entity, but almost won't agree to the 13% because Mrano only allows government to take 10% free carried interest. Niakano has to be negotiated and agreed upon by parties. Yes, I buy 3 extra percent now. It's utia. But we could amend the law to say, look, when it comes to lithium, governments carried interest. This particular percentage. And to what investment in Ab Initio said this is how much it is going to be. And we are not going to leave it to the discretion or negotiation skills of any minister. And Tinamika said, look, this is going to be the future. Hypothetically, by 2050, there will be nothing called crude oil. If the green transition is fully, is in full force, and the things they are going to profit from, green elements are uranium. And this is bigger than just lithium. So we need to have a regulatory and fiscal framework, and for all green minerals, uranium, lithium, and so on. And they said but let's treat this like we treated oil. But and so on and so on. We are not, even though I feel some of the percentages can be increased, but we are even talking about making sure you have uniform lease agreements that are sustainable and beneficial for all Ghanaians. That is the argument.
Okay, so mass action for Madarama, because me taking note of one or two a step in the right direction, but I would draw my attention to a certain weakness because that's the future in terms of lithium. Yes, you're getting it right. But if Mubinya Brea, mass action for sustainable development, if you don't maybe our first 45 minutes, the needed questions now also arguments, but that's what we want to achieve.
So absolutely, and we are open to it. Okay. We're actually looking forward to holding a public forum. But before we enter to just quickly, like a minute. Another it appears this deal and this agreement was signed under very suspicious circumstances. What him say? The date on the mining lease, and the date on the approval of recommendation letter on AFS. And if you don't understand what approval of recommendation letter is, letter B, when you make an application to the Minerals Commission, they recommend to the minister. So if you are looking for a mining lease, a license, now we are application now, to make sure that you meet all the relevant requirements. So then they write to the minister, recommending say, this entity is qualified per the regulations and everything else. Now the minister or Jitumwa would write a DIFN approval of recommendation letter, which is brought to the commission. The commission then forwards it to you, the applicant. And you are supposed, according to the act, you are supposed to write an acceptance letter. In fact, there are even days within which you must do you must write an acceptance letter. We are now the above Minerals Commission. Then they will then tell you the relevant fees are according to the blocks you have. Now I cost 2 lands, so I could then then they will now write and they will now prepare the lease agreement and then send it to the minister for him to sign. All this cannot be done in one day. Now, so we share the letter of approval, the mining lease date. 20th October 2023. It tells me, something mysterious happened. Something magical, which is not the usual practice. All right, it can't happen.
Well,
I'm sure you're discuss here. Well, I'll show you the documents and Ghana phone in here.
All right.
And I don't understand why the minister is in such a fast moving mood. We need to slow him down and make sure we get this right.
I think Mohammed Mameno, as I said, so when you're just communicate with Dominic now.
All right,
thank you so much. Gordon.
Well, I think Mazda fui omofan yeka. You see, utie atikia one so raising points very very relevant. Yes, you need discussing. Ejamba admo ifia da meti na ye because say nya clarity bibia na minister ne minerals commission si wo no so e ba bonte no so bekasa na bibia because lithium na eni wiase bebre sa Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Ghana, DRC, Mali, and Ethiopia, and the whoopie. The whole Africa. Who quite other in America as well. Kaki too heavy. And I say no for soup, Kessepa. And Adibia Beya, Ghana Bell short change, meaning this will be a better. Aha, it's young person in income. However, as some way about last year, somewhere July, and a minister Abu or can't or could make a statement on lithium at our parliament. Ubianka Hoshi. And the 2 BNA Crase and consultation and consultation. I a decade done your board in an start civil society groups. No, Naka judge them, Master T was a question, but you sit down. Nobody can wait for anybody.
Okay, mama.
Oh, it's your boy, and I must take a jagum. Namuche is day or also yet obey. A face and a one consultation last year, July. What were we doing?
But it doesn't change anything.
But
if it's wrong, it's wrong.
Oh, no
if it's not serving the interest of Ghana,
but
it's not.
But as some new Nuna, any civil society groups in Nan, as some bar, and the money we are, I was saying to me, so me a cabby. Need clarification. Now, yeah, Chama at the concluded end, partner, if you say now, one consult here, one whole year, near
okay, me try me who but I understand some of the referee the committee.
Referee,
the OD control.
Massa me.
Ah, that you would not going.
That you know, almost expected
me. Hassle folk.
Oh,
Omonia did not to win chino, no more. Or the Omonia did not to be after the original.
Omutikwa de se komuso for near.
Oh,
na we.
Akwanche no manfa, yen komra.
Anya kwanche so.
Bibia you okay, madam?